After a 3-week break, Wolverhampton Wanderers are back, and what a career mode it's been so far. Contract disputes and bust-ups, departures of big-name players, arrivals of even bigger-name players, Wonder Kids signed, the next Cristiano Ronaldo uncovered, huge formation changes, European qualification achieved, and a fresh new managerial trim to top it off. And today, it's time to get back to work with a bang. So let's start off with a little bit of a recap, shall we? We've signed 4 new players in the transfer market: Eddie Nketiah from Arsenal, Aaron Hickey from Brentford, the newcomer Matheus Nunes from Manchester City, and of course, the biggest signing of the lot, Pedro Gonçalves for £56.9 million. We might be 7th place in the Premier League table with just 1 point separating us from 4th placed Arsenal, though we continue the fight for Champions League football this season. And after getting through top of the table of our Europa League group, we await our fate in the knockout rounds. It's been a good return in front of goal for some of my attacking players, specifically the new signing Pedro Gonçalves, who's got 10 goals and 6 assists in 24 appearances, but it's been a real coming-of-age performance this season for Delinga, who tops the charts with 10 goals in 19 games. But with us still having a few weeks left of the January transfer window and £73 million left in the budget, I still think there are areas of this team that we've got the ability to improve. However, just before my extended break, there were some huge question marks about how we were going to solve the situation between this man Pedro Neto and his teammate Rayan Aït-Nouri. With rumours and speculation swirling around that Pedro Neto had done the dirty with Rayan Aït-Nouri's wife, there were some serious question marks about whether the two young men could even play in the same team together. And after meeting with the pair of them, I thought I'd done enough to squash the beef between the two, and at least do enough to maintain morale at a contentful level for the remainder of the season. But it seems to me as if my assumptions may have been incorrect, because with Pedro Neto's agent seemingly circling around in real life and managing to secure a move for the Portuguese to Chelsea for a big sum, it looks like Mikel Arteta has been alerted to his availability in this career mode and looking to do the same thing. And so that is why, after agreeing a fairly sizable chunk of money with the Arsenal boss, the rift between Aït-Nouri and Pedro Neto is finally over, as the 24-year-old Portuguese will depart the Molineux for the final time, leaving to another London club in Arsenal for £45.5 million. Now, as you can see, that's left a gaping hole on the right-hand side of my midfield, and despite me threatening to dispose of the services of Wang Hee-chan following a fallout with him in the January transfer window, with Neto's departure leaving us short on quality in that area of the pitch, it feels like this is a real opportunity for redemption for the 28-year-old Korean. He will return back to what he will believe his rightful spot in the starting 11, but even with him going back in the starting 11, with me only having the now retiring at the end of the season Pablo Sarabia and the young 19-year-old Rooney Bargiu showing something special but not quite at the level required to deputise for him, once again I feel like it's time for me to dive right back into the transfer list. However, with me having now £116 million to spend, and with that area of the pitch being such a huge priority position for me, once again I want to give you and my scouts the opportunity to suggest who you think would be the best option. So once again, let me know down below who you would like to see in a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt this season. Whilst in the meantime, in my bid to try and keep this career mode as realistic as possible, I'm going to once again try and mirror what is happening in real life for Wolverhampton Wanderers. And so that is why I've decided to bring in another young Portuguese star, 21 years of age, who Wolves have just recently signed. He's a man who lit up the Portuguese league with 30 appearances for Braga last season and joins the Wolverhampton Wanderers revolution in real life for £15 million. But in this career mode, we've managed to go one better. We've snapped him up for a bargain fee of 7.7 as Ricardo Gomes becomes the first signing of this episode. Perhaps he's not the stellar name that many Wolverhampton Wanderers fans were hoping for, but with him just being 21 years of age, showing great potential, having the versatility to be able to play in multiple different positions, and being a realistic signing that Wolves have secured in real life, I think he's another good young talent to add to the ever-growing list here at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and it still maintains a huge chunk of my budget, so that you guys can decide what to do with the future of this man Wang Hee-chan, and to decide who you guys potentially want to be the star signing to feature on the right-hand side of my midfield. Once again, let me know down below what you think. Now, there's been a lot of talk across this entire career mode about Jose Sarr potentially being the weak link in this starting 11. At just 80 rated and 31 years of age and highly unlikely to improve any further, the writing perhaps has been on the wall for the Portuguese star since the very beginning of Season 1. And whilst it seems like defensively in the Premier League we've got a fantastic record, Jose Sarr does have a habit of conceding absolute howlers on this career mode. And if I want to take this team to the next level, maybe I need to consider going back to my shortlist to look at the array of goalkeepers that you guys have suggested for me to buy to take this team to where I want to be, starting off with this man, Diogo Costa. Now, as you well know, I did have a meeting with the Portuguese star who proclaimed that he would be interested in signing for Wolverhampton Wanderers if we were able to make Champions League football this season. But hearing the feedback from a lot of you in the comments, you do not think it is right for me to wait out for Diogo Costa, as realistically, you're not quite sure whether or not you believe what he says. And so once again, I am going to heed your words and I'm going to remove him from the equation and instead put my focus back on someone someone, a realistic someone who has been heavily linked with Wolverhampton Wanderers in real life. Because yes, that is right, it seems like I've struck up a very good relationship with Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, as after a bit of back and forth negotiation we managed to strike a deal once again. This time it's for a man who I think is going to genuinely improve not just our squad but our overall starting 11 coming into Wolverhampton Wanderers instead. Yes, that's right, it is an English international, once the former number 1 of Arsenal. He's been displaced in their starting 11 and is desperately seeking a move to another Premier League club to try and resurrect his England international career and get himself back on top as one of the best Premier League goalkeepers in the country. Yes, that is right, it is time to welcome our second signing of this episode and yet another signing here in this career mode, as Aaron Ramsdale will join the Wolverhampton Wanderers revolution for what I believe is a bargain fee of £24.5 million. He's 5 years the junior of Jose Sarr and 4 points higher in his overall rating. He's an immediate improvement to my backline and an immediate replacement in the starting 11. And with Brighton away as our very next Premier League game, he's going to get the opportunity to impress and make his debut, as he will start in between the sticks for the very first time in his new Wolverhampton Wanderers career. He will be joined by Aaron Hickey, Bueno, Marmo and Aït-Nouri at the back. Nunez and Gomez partner each other in midfield. Pedro Gonçalves starts on the left, of course. Hwang comes in on the right-hand side with Larson and Dalinga partnering each other up front. Here we go, straight away then Brighton to kick us off. And Brighton in this career mode not really doing particularly well. They're actually battling a relegation battle at the moment, so this is a game that we must win. But straight away, we've gone and given away a really soft goal. And in the opening 5 minutes, Jonathan David, the new Brighton signing, has come along and absolutely put a dagger through Aaron Ramsdale's heart. Well, 5 minutes into his Wolverhampton Wanderers debut, he's had an absolute shocker. Our defence just allowed him to breeze through, and should Ramsdale have done better from that position? Yes, it was close to goal, but potentially he could have at least got a touch on it. Not very good at all, both from the goalkeeper and the entire defence. I'm fuming. 1-0. Well, I haven't played on this game for about 3 weeks. Is it a sign of rustiness from me, or are my players just not quite good enough, and have they not switched on at the beginning of this game so far? Let's see whether or not we can make amends as the game progresses. Jørgen Strand Larsen out to Hwang on the right hand side. Got the opportunity to can't go past Soler though. Really good defending, but Hwang wins it back from him, and Hwang now will try and drive down the right hand side. A real ding-dong battle between the two of them. Doesn't get the better of him. Brighton clear the ball away. Really slow started so far from Wolves. It's going to be Webster to take the free kick. Floats it up, looking for Jonathan David. Finds Jonathan David again. Morin this time though. My defence is all over the place. Where are we? Oh my word, they send it wide. But we are so close to giving away another goal. Well, I tell you what, I certainly believe I am a little bit rusty on this game. Really struggling to get to grips here in the opening 20 minutes of the pace and the intensity of the Premier League. But Matheus Nunes hopefully is going to make a change to that as he floats the ball out to Pedro Gonçalves on the left hand side. The Portuguese has the chance to drive into the box, looking for the back post here. Lovely little ball, looking for Hwang over the top of his head. Dalinga to try and get on the end of it. Does find João Gomez, who tries to hit it on the volley. Blocked, cleared away. And Ciso into Jonathan David. End-to-end stuff now. This game really starting to open up here, and gaps are being found all over the pitch as Solly March goes past Aït-Nouri. Like he's not even there. Drives to the edge of the box. Mika Marmo comes across, and Solly March is going to take the throw in very quickly that Tarek Lamptey will pass on to Morin once again on the edge of the box. Lamptey, the right back, has it back. Gonçalves can't do enough to get away from Solly March. It's Morin again. March into the box across. This time João Gomez is in the right place at the right time. Matheus Nunes brings it away, and Nunes now to try and float it over the top into the channel, looking for Dalinga. Does find my top goal scorer, and Dalinga now bursts down the left hand side. Can he try and find a ball in? He does. I was looking for the striking partner of Jørgen Strand Larsen. Couldn't find him though. Once again, Brighton clear their lines. Billy Gilmore out to Enciso, into Jonathan David. He's got options on the left-hand side. He finds the option of Soler, who is bursting down this left-hand side unopposed, but Bueno comes across. Really good challenge. But it looks like Brighton have got a free kick in a very dangerous position here. They take it short. They catch me unaware. Igor into Webster. Webster into George once again, who strikes. This time Ramsdale makes amends with his first save of the game as Brighton get a corner. And it's one that Billy Gilmore is going to take. They've got the short option. They utilise the short option with Enciso. Blocked off. It's kept in though with Aaron Hickey. And eventually we manage to get a goal kick. So it's Pedro Gonçalves who picks it up right on the left hand side and tries to drive infield here. Does drive infield. What options has he got? Doesn't seem like he needs any options here. The Portuguese has continued to go. The referee blows the whistle and the Wolves fans and the Portuguese man are absolutely furious. But are they taking out that anger on the referee or on the performance so far in the opening 45 minutes? Lacklustre is the only word I can use to describe it. Partly the players' fault, partly my fault. We are down 1-0. We've got to make a change to that here in the second 45. Short pass into Pedro Gonçalves. He's going to look to try and do that marauding run once again. This time gets cut off, gives it to the centre-back Marmo. And now João Gomez can maybe be the man, to bring it forward. Does bring it forward. Really great lung-bursting run here and then goes and gives it away really cheaply, and that is pretty much evidence of how we've played so far. Into Igor, the centre-back, out to Tarek Lamptey on the right-hand side. Brings it forward into Solly March, gets it back for his troubles, but Pedro Gonçalves has been the most exciting player on the pitch so far for Wolverhampton Wanderers, it must be said, has managed to win the ball back and skip past the challenge of about 3 to 4 Brighton players, throws it into the box, it's just over the head of Matheus Nunes, and once again Brighton clear their lines. Igor being pressed there, but managed to get away from the press, and Gonçalves once again has won it back. If we're going to do anything, it's going to go through the Portuguese. Now Aït-Nouri into the box, finds Jürgen Strand-Larsen! Jürgen Strand-Larsen straight down the pipe, but it's enough, there's enough power on the strike to put it past the goalkeeper and level things up here at the Amex Stadium. It was coming, it certainly was coming, and after brilliant work from Gonçalves and Aït-Nouri down that left-hand side, laid on a plate for Jürgen Strand-Larsen. Looks like it took a little bit of a deflection off of Webster, I believe. Maybe that just took it out of the eyesight of the goalkeeper, because you've got to be honest, if it didn't, that was really, really poor goalkeeping, but he doesn't care one bit. 1-1. And with Hwang failing to deliver once again, it's going to be another debut, this time for the young man. Rodrigo Gomez gets his opportunity with 25 minutes remaining on the clock here to see if he can spark some life into our attack and get the second goal that will hopefully give us the 3 points. Into Jonathan David, skips away from a challenge once again, skips away from 2 challenges. Really good stuff from the Canadian. That's a lovely strike. What a finish. And within a blink of an eye, Brighton have got themselves back on top. Well, my, we've fallen asleep once again. Lovely little step over from the Canadian. And that is a fabulous finish. About 25 yards out, with the edge of his boot, curved it round Aaron Ramsdale, who's conceded 2 on his debut. Brighton lead 2-1. Well, I am really feeling the effects of 3 weeks off. I'm all over the place defensively, and going forward, I haven't really, aside from that 1 goal, really created any clear-cut opportunities. I've got 20 minutes left remaining on the clock to make a change to that, as Gomez now, on his debut, drives down the right-hand side, looking towards the back post, goes towards the back post, doesn't manage to find his man, but we do keep the attack alive. Matheus Nunes now into Strand-Larsen. Strand-Larsen into Gomez to the edge of the box. Gomez goes to go round the defender, plays it into Matheus Nunes, who can't take it down properly, and in the end it goes out for a really cheap goal kick. So it's a ball out wide to Veltman now, into Enciso. Gomez wins it back well, and Gomez tries to bring it forward, does bring it forward into Nketiah, and Nketiah now to try and play it down the channel into Strand-Larsen, round the corner into Gomez, doesn't have any options in the box, waiting for someone to hold it up to. Instead, Strand-Larsen floats it across, this time looking for Gonçalves, can't quite reach him. Gonçalves can't get on the second ball. Aït-Nouri can though, nods it back down into Yao Gomez. Gomez to take it on, and he absolutely balloons it over the bar. Into Guedes. Guedes into the centre, back over into Dortch once again. Brighton playing it around really nicely here. Gomez round the corner into Nketiah. This is the last attack of the game. Jürgen Strand-Larsen can't get anywhere, does manage to knock it onto Gonçalves, can't get past Tarek Lamptey though. Good defending from the Brighton right back. Now they bring it forward once again into my half. The referee checks his watch. We try and put a challenge in. We don't put a good enough challenge in. Brighton have it once again with Guedes into Molineux, and it's a brilliant save from Ramsdale. Short corner that Brighton are going to take here, deep into stoppage time. We've just got to try and see if we can get hold of the ball somehow, some way. Billy Gilmore, lovely ball into Guedes. Ramsdale with another save, this time with his foot. Aaron Hickey to bring it away as the referee blows for full time. Well, it's not the return to this career mode that we were hoping for. We go away from home with 2 new signings and 2 debuts here today, and we go and throw away at least a point. Beaten by a team struggling against relegation. 2-1 Brighton at full time. Well, with the birth of my second son, meaning that the board granted me an extended 3-week break, with lackluster performances like that on my return, they've got to be wondering whether or not that was the right decision. There's no doubt that we've spent big this season, and of course they've backed me with another 2 signings this episode. But if they're not going to get the performances on the pitch, they're going to start questioning my role here at the club. A really poor debut from Aaron Ramsdale, it must be said. Beaten inside the opening 5 minutes, and then beaten again in the second half. Really, really poor, and perhaps he's showing the effects of struggling to get game time in an Arsenal shirt. And at the other end of the pitch, whilst Rodrigo Gomez did show flashes of intrigue and excitement in his 20-minute cameo, it really wasn't enough to drag us through that game. And with Hwang continuing his poor performances and poor form, with him just getting 1 goal and 2 assists in 12 games so far this campaign, it does really go to show that we are missing a Pedro Gonçalves type figure on the right-hand side of my midfield. So if there are any scouts out there who have identified any key players who could be a fantastic addition to this team, or if there are any agents whose players are coming to the end of their contracts and feel like they're looking for the next step in their career and want to join Wolverhampton Wanderers, let me know what you think down in the comments below. But as the next month of fixtures have progressed, it seems like a real lack of focus has seeped into this squad in my absence. Because in the Premier League, our fight for Champions League football has really started to wane, as we now sit in 8th place, 5 points behind Newcastle United in 4th, and we got knocked out of the 4th round of the FA Cup at home to Leicester City. But with the preliminary rounds of the Europa League done and dusted, we finally got the chance to make amends in the round of 16 as we've been drawn against a very winnable tie in RB Salzburg. But after getting beaten 2-1 away from home in the first leg, it seems like morale at the club has completely gone through the floor. And it's echoed by none other than Hwang Hee-chan knocking on my door, demanding to be transfer listed. With the departure of Pedro Neto, he's finally getting the game time that he so desperately craved, but yet still, it doesn't appear to be enough for him. He's been nothing short of an absolute pain since the very beginning of this season. After him going to the press to complain about not just me, but seemingly my receding hairline, with me going to the trouble of getting a fresh new trim as a peace offering, clearly it still wasn't enough. The 29-year-old wants out of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and with Atletico Madrid offering a £21.4 million for him, it's something that I'm happy to accept, as he will depart at the start of Season 3. Once again, does it not only mean we're going to need a replacement for Pedro Neto, but it also means we might need a replacement for Hwang as well. Do you think we need to make a big money signing? Or do you think the likes of the 19-year-old Rooney Bargi or the 21-year-old Rodrigo Gomez are going to be enough to take this team to the next level? As always, let me know down in the comments below what you think. For now though, we have one game to resurrect our season, and we're going to be relying on the good form of this man Pedro Gonçalves, as once again it's back to the Molineux. We face off in the second leg against RB Salzburg. There is of course just one change to the starting 11 that lost our first game in the episode against Brighton. It is Rodrigo Gomez coming in on the right hand side of midfield, as of course Hwang drops to the bench. This is an absolutely massive game, one game to resurrect our season. If we lose this, we will go crashing out of the Europa League, and then it leaves all the pressure on my shoulders to try and qualify for the Champions League in the Premier League this season. Into Gomez, out to Jürgen Strand Larsen, but he loses it to Comer, who brings it away and out of defence. We've got to remember here that we are already 2-1 down from the opening leg. We have to make sure that we get 2 goals to put ourselves through into the next round, and judging from our performances so far this episode, it's going to be a real tall order. But it's Gonçalves once again, the danger man, who brings it forward. He's got space on the left hand side to run into here. Has he got any options in the box? Doesn't seem to need any as he takes it on himself. Little bit of confidence, but perhaps a little bit too much confidence as he loses the ball in a good position. But he wins it back though once again, and this time shows a little bit of selflessness and plays it into the path of Delinga. Delinga looking for the cutback, finds the cutback of Jürgen Strand Larsen, shapes it up on his right. What a save. Fabulous save from the goalkeeper, but we do have a corner, and this is a much better start than the one we started against Brighton. This time it's thrown in, headed away though. Nunez to try and get on the end of it, headed clear though by the Salzburg defence, only out as far as João Gomez. Marmar will pick up the scraps into Aaron Hickey, who's going to try and burst down this right hand side. Unopposed here, does go all the way, trying to look for a ball into the box, instead plays the ball back to Gomez, floats it in. This time Jürgen looking for Jürgen Strand Larsen. He had time to take it down, his first touch wasn't there, and in the end it's another chance that's been squandered. Aaron Hickey though, the first man to get to it, plays it into Gomez, round the corner, once again into Delinga. This time he takes it on, flying save from Schlager. Well, we are peppering this RB Salzburg goal here, but so far to no avail. It's thrown in though, Delinga with his head. The goalkeeper is on fire here in the opening 26 minutes. It's our third corner of the game, and once again it's going to be Pedro Gonçalves who's going to take it. This time floats it back in looking for Delinga, but the goalkeeper is an absolute unit, claims it once again as Nori brings it away from defence into Pedro Gonçalves. Once again shifts away from a challenge, lovely little touch and turn away, and now goes into the centre. Pass 1, pass 2, pass 3, strikes it. What a save, what a goal that would have been. The Portuguese man is well and truly on form, absolutely everything is coming through him. Floated into the box once again, this time looking for Marmar with a big head, straight down the pipe into the arms of the goalkeeper. So it's Nori now, it's a Gonçalves. Gonçalves tries to play it around the corner, good interception by Van der Brepp there, and now the right back to bring it out into Martins down this right hand side. Can he try and play a ball into Maxi? He does, into Koita now. Koita, lovely ball into Fleming. Oh my goodness, how on earth has he missed from there? The fans can't believe it. Ramsdale breathes a sigh of relief. Well, how close were we there to going 3-1 down on aggregate? He had the goal at his mercy, and somehow from about 6 yards out absolutely ballooned it over. Is that a lifeline, and can we try and take that momentum and bring it back over to our side and see if we can claim a goal right on the stroke of half time as Rodrigo Gomez bursts forward, looks into the box, finds Delinga. Delinga looking for his striking partner, can't quite find him, so takes it on himself, and what a fabulous strike, and that is exactly the goal that we needed right on the stroke of half time to bring the scores level and to give us the momentum heading into the second 45. Well, from a catastrophic miss down one end to an absolutely lightning counter counter-attack down the other. Lovely ball from Rodrigo Gomez into Delinga, who's still a lot of work to do. I was looking for the pass into the partner, but he didn't need it in the end. Shifted it onto his left, smashed it into the top left-hand corner, and just like that, he gets us back on level terms. The man of the moment. It's 2-2 on aggregate. So we start this second half here with Salzburg all over me and getting the ball back as Hickey loses it in a really dangerous position. They keep it in, they play it into the box, it falls to Bueno. Marmol just about clears it away. Ramsdale just beat it into his own 6-yard box, and he was so lucky there that a Wolverhampton Wanderers defender was on hand to clear it away. Otherwise that could have been an absolute catastrophe. Terzic though tries to go past Aaron Hickey, does go past Aaron Hickey. Lovely ball into the box. Once again Marmol in the right place at the right time. Yao Gomez to bring it clear now. We've got the opportunity to try and hit them on the counter. It's Gomez out wide on the right hand side. Has he got the pace to get away from the defenders? Instead goes into the centre looking for the ball into the channel. In the end he was just a little bit too slow, but it's a real good end-to-end game here at the beginning of the second half, as once again Salzburg have the chance to go forward. Marmol with another brilliant tackle, always in the right place at the right time. It's the Spaniard Jorgen Strand-Larsen into Delinga, out to Gonçalves, who's down the left hand side. Is he going to play it across? He does! Into Delinga, and Delinga with a touch has turned the game on its head. Wolverhampton Wanderers in the 63rd minute have taken a 2-0 lead, and finally we lead 3-2 on aggregate. Another lightning counter-attack. Gonçalves had the space and the awareness to play it across the box, and Delinga, I'm not quite sure if that was a touch or a strike. Either way, it does not matter, because the Dutchman has put it into the back of the net, and Wolves take the lead 3-2. Into Nunez, lovely little turn away from the defender, and now we've got the bit between our teeth here. Our tails are up, and we are sensing blood, and we're sensing the opportunity to put the game to bed, as Pedro Gonçalves now once again bursts into the box, looking at the back post yet again. This time can't quite find Gomez, who was looking for his first goal in a Wolves shirt. With some fatigue creeping into the camp in the last 15 minutes, I'm going to make some wholesale changes. I'm bringing on the cavalry in a bid to try and hold on to this 3-2 aggregate lead, but Salzburg have got a corner. They throw it into the box. Marmol once again, who's been a commanding figure at the back so far in this game, heads it clear out to Bidstrup, into Koita, straight at Ramsdale, makes a bit of a hash of it, goes out for a corner. It's another one that Capaldo is going to take. He once again looks like he's going to throw it in, does. Marmol tries to get his head on it. This time Delinga picks up the scraps, and Delinga to bring it clear. Out to Lamina on as a substitute. Mario Lamina doesn't have any options. He's looking for someone in the centre, eventually manages to find Jorgen Strand-Larsen. This is the chance, this is the opportunity. Into the box he goes, and he says thank you very much. Wolverhampton Wanderers lead 3-0, and is that game set and match here in the Europa League at the Molineux. Well, after the shocking performance against Brighton and the lull in form, we needed a game that was going to resurrect our season, and has it come here in the Europa League. Jorgen Strand-Larsen applies a lovely finish after another incisive counter-attack to give us a 3-0 lead, 4-2 on aggregate, and has that just relieved some pressure off of my shoulders. Pedro Gonçalves once again wins the ball back high, plays a lovely one into the channel, into Delinga, who just strikes it wide. Well, it seems like Salzburg have completely and utterly fallen apart now. That third goal was the real final nail in the coffin. They know that their time and their place in the Europa League is well and truly done. Gonçalves easily away to skip away from the challenge of the defender. The Portuguese driving all the way through here. He's a man of the match performance, looking for a man of the match goal. He can't get past the last line of defence. The goalkeeper hacks it clear as the referee blows for full time. A fabulous response, and look at the response from the crowd. Absolutely delighted here at home in front of our home fans. What a performance, and what a way to turn our season around. That man Delinga will get the plaudits, as his 2 goals were enough, along with Jorgen Strand-Larsen, to give us a 3-0 lead. 4-2 on aggregate. Well, what a moment for this team, and what a moment for this club, because it means in the very next round of the Europa League, we've been drawn in what I believe is a winnable tie against Sporting Lisbon. It was a clean sheet for Aaron Ramsdale, and perhaps redemption from his poor performance against Brighton. Rodrigo Gomez absolutely terrorised that Salzburg defence, showing that potentially there is life after the likes of Pedro Neto and Hwang Hee-chan. Delinga continued his fine form with another 2 goals, but the standout performance was of this man Pedro Gonçalves. Absolutely everything went through the Portuguese, and it's not hard to see why with performances like that. He is now my top goal scorer, 17 goals and 8 assists in an absolutely fabulous campaign for the 26-year-old. And with just a matter of months left remaining in this season 2, is that the shot in the arm that this team needs to maybe go all the way in the Europa League, or even try and qualify for the Champions League via the Premier League? But that is going to be that for the end of today's episode. Once again, thank you for watching. Thanks for bearing with me whilst I took my 3-week break. It really was appreciated, and once again I really do appreciate your comments. Keep them coming, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.